When the Rebbe Rashab, the fifth Chabad Rebbe, was a small boy of about 4 or 5 years old, he went to his grandfather, who was the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Chabad Rebbe, on Shabbat Vayera, this week's Torah portion, and he began to cry. And he asked, why did God show himself to Abraham, but he doesn't show himself to us? And the Tzemach Tzedek answered him, when a tzaddik, a completely righteous person, decides at the age of 99 years old that he should be circumcised, he deserves that God appear to him. This week's Torah portion describes the life of Abraham after his circumcision. And circumcision isn't just referred to as a mitzvah, which is a particular method of connecting to God, but it's called a brit, a covenant. There's a basic principle in Judaism that spirituality shouldn't just be relegated to the higher spheres of existence. Instead, Torah principles have to become tangible and obvious even in our flesh and blood. Hasidic thought doesn't like the approach of turning away from physicality in order to search for spirituality. Just the opposite. The whole goal is to take the physical world and make it a receptacle for the divine. And this is seen most clearly in the idea of circumcision, where the spirituality associated with a mitzvah becomes permanently engraved in the flesh. That's why this week's Torah portion is called Vayera, God appeared. Because everything we read in this Torah portion describes a new era in Abraham's life, where his physical body has now become a receptacle for divinity through that covenant of circumcision. And the lesson for us, since we're the descendants of Abraham, God's presence is very real and apparent in our lives. So when we read in the Torah how God appears to Abraham, we should be aware that God also appears to us. The only difference is that Abraham was able to see it with his eyes. But, as descendants of Abraham, we should not be satisfied with God's invisible presence. We should cry out and ask, why is it that God showed himself to Abraham and he doesn't show himself to us? Shabbat Shalom.